Welcome to MONTCLAIRconnect, the podcast, where we highlight alumni from Montclair State University, the latest programs and initiatives at the school, and how to stay connected. Each episode will speak to a member of the Red Hawk community about their experience at Montclair and what they're currently working on. I'm Pierre Louis, class of 2024 and current MBA candidate, and I'll be your host for today. Today on MONTCLAIRconnect, the podcast, we are having a conversation with Oscar Garcia, class of 2006. Welcome, Oscar. Awesome. How are you doing today?
Yeah, great. That's so looking forward to having the conversation with you today.
Perfect. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We can't talk about Oscar and Oscar being an alumni without knowing how did you even get into Montclair? Talk to us about that.
That's good. Well, before that, high five. You're very close to finishing your master's degree.
Hey. I'm very excited.
Super awesome. Yeah. So when I think back to where we are today and rewinding to 2001 when I started school, I graduated Montclair in 2006, but so many different things happened prior to that 2006. And I guess I could start by telling you where I came from, what my background is, and then we'll take it from there. What do you think?
Yeah, I love that.
Cool. I have three brothers, and I grew up in Ecuador. I was 10 years old when I came over to this country. My parents were there as well. On my mom's side, she was a professional. She was in charge of a number of different school systems, and she was very much into education. My dad had a tough upbringing. He was responsible for taking care of his brothers. He lost his parents when he was 21, the youngest one at that time being pretty much in diapers, right? So he had that father figure. Didn't get a chance to go to school, so he was a typical blue-collar worker, just let's put in as many hours as we possibly can. So fast forward to 1992, my parents decided to give it a try, and we came to the U.S. So I grew up in Bloomfield after I came here, and I remember struggling with the language. That was the first thing, right? So everything was Spanish, and then everything was English, and I remember my mom saying, give me 6 months. If after 6 months this doesn't work, let's go back. So after 6 months, my mom checked in, and the rest is history, right? We're still here. Yeah, so going through high school years, what always I had in mind was making sure that the sacrifice that my parents did was worth it.
Do you feel like as a first generation student, or even like, coming from your background, that the first semester was extremely hard?
It's a great question. To my mom specifically, one of the challenges that she had was not knowing what college life was all about here. She knew it back home, but we didn't have anybody to rely on to say, you do this and you do that, and these are the classes that you want to take. So I needed a lot of direction, and I felt the need to figure it out on my own. There's one thing that I really liked about Montclair State, aside from the fact that they accepted me, right? High fives to Montclair fights.
That's already a bonus.
There's just so many different clubs and so many different areas that you can be a part of. And I do take pride in being a Latino with that Spanish background. And I wanted to find a group that I can grow with, that can understand me, but at the same time, not stay within that bubble. And I think when I learned about LASO, Latin American Student Organization, it definitely drew my attention. So my buddy decided to convince me to pledge for an organization, the Greek organization that I was telling you about. So it's Lambda Sigma Upsilon, who I'm a very proud brother of, and I pledged both 2001. And I got this really cool thing that I wanted to show you.
What is it?
Way back when.
What?
Check this out. So after pledging, we get a crossover gift from our pledge master. We call him Caciques, and he gave this to me. And Lambda Sigma Upsilon stands for Latinos Siempre Unidos, which is Latinos Always United. And I could tell you that this organization has given me a lot of things. The biggest thing that I can get out of the organization, aside from the networking and the experience at Montclair State, was...
This is a really cool... I'm just seeing it now. It's actually really, really cool. I like it.
Thank you. It's where I met my wife. So she pledged for the sister organization, Mu Sigma Upsilon, and we pledged at the same time. And I remember just checking her out, right? While we were pledging, like, who is this girl?
I know earlier you alluded to the fact that, your first semester was a little bit hard because you didn't have any, advice or any direction. And I think it's something that I relate to, coming, from Haiti. And then the first thing I had to do was, start college. And both of my parents are did not have a degree. They don't have a degree. So I'm a first gen student. And a lot of our community as well is first gen. So do you have any specific advice that, you wish you had known, or even, sharing with the next generation, the people who will be listening to this podcast?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think first gen, the first thing that comes to mind is the amount of pressure that you feel, right? It's make my parents proud and make myself proud. The second aspect of it is, the first gen, this is the first time that you're doing it within your family, so you have no idea what to expect, what not to expect. And I think the biggest advice that I could give anybody that starts in the same type of a scenario is know that you're not alone. That's what it goes down to be. Like, you might feel alone, and it's just a matter of finding the right group, and you're going to notice that you and 300 other people are going through the same type of experience, and the school knows about it, right? And that's the reason why they create so many different organizations to help you with that. The outreach is there, right? So if we're scrolling, scroll to the right page, right? Look at what's out there and make sense out of it. And don't be afraid. Just reach out, right? And if it doesn't click the first time, it might click the second time. And if it's not the first group, it's the second group. Just know that you're not by yourself. Yes, the pressure is there from your parents, from you being first gen and making it big. Own that and take advantage of those butterfly feelings that you have to do the right thing. Take it to your advantage, but leverage everything that the school has.
As a first generation, and also, freshman, commuter, freshman, all of those different buckets that you fall into, did you feel like if you were to focus on all those different activities, you have to balance work, you have to balance your family, you have to balance, having a social life, and then you have to balance your your school life, right? Did you feel as if you were managing it perfectly, or did you feel like you were struggling? Talk to us about your experience there.
See how I was telling you that accounting used to be the thing? Okay, so do the math. Back then, the early 2000s, a semester was anywhere between 3,000 to 3,500, right? I used to make $7.25 an hour. How many $7.25 an hour did I have to do to make sure that I hit $3,000, right? So every hour counted for me. In my mind, I am not wasting a single hour, because that translates to I'm not going to be able to take an additional class, So I think that was really the priority that I had. And then eventually, when I switched over to having a real full-time job, it just simply went away. So I muscled through the first couple of semesters making $7.25 an hour. To be able to say that now I can concentrate, right? Now I found a job that was willing to pay for my education from day one. I didn't care what I had to do. If they were paying for my school, I was going in, right? So I think the transition from I don't know what I'm doing to I think I found the right group to now I'm part of the group, right? Whether it was Lasso or Lambda Sigma Upsilon, the influence that I had in the people that I was meeting, to now saying, okay, I think I'm ready for the next step. Let's get a career out of this, right? Let's not wait until I'm done with graduating. Let's do something better with where I'm currently at that point.
I really love this. And out of curiosity, before we do talk about your job and, where you work at and this whole story, right? I want to know, what were your favorite spots on campus?
Favorite spot. I'm going to tell you there were two favorite spots.
Okay.
Number one, the bus stop, because it had a little something to cover if it was raining. It wasn't like a true shed or anything. It was just something that was able to cover me during bad weather. And then the second spot, I would say, was the Rat. The Rat was the spot. I remember being the one that doesn't fit into the Rat, and it was just on the side. To then second, third semester, I was part of the cool group. Like, now I'm sitting down with everybody that hangs out right here. So the pep and wings combo was always amazing. If I could go back in time and have a meal from Montclair, it was that. I'll tell you about the Red Hawk Sunday later on, but yes, that'll happen. Give yourself 10 years, it'll happen.
Let's talk about ADP. Let's talk about, someone told me that you found your job right out of college.
It was right before, which was neat. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll tell you a fun one. So it was the summer of 2003, and at that time I was still trying to impress my girlfriend, wife now, and $7.25 wasn't cutting it, right?
It wasn't. I can't imagine.
No, and then I found myself saying, do I buy a Valentine's Day gift, a birthday gift, or do I put all of this money into my school? How about I get a real job?
Right.
And I thought that I was going to start working at ADT, the security company at the time. And I was getting so ready. Let me tell you, I told my parents, we're getting a security system. It's going to be amazing. And then I got the letter, right? Because there were no such thing as emails back then. Oh, ADP, what is this? Let's go to the student center and dial into AOL.com or whatever it was that we used to use in order to figure out what this is. And that's when I found out that it was the payroll company. Gosh, I needed to quickly switch over to what am I going to say? It's not security. I don't know why they accepted me. I'm just glad that they accepted me. And I went from having to work part-time hours here and there to making the decision of what do I do? This job is only available for me if I take a 9 to 5. So the question and the decision that I had to make was, do I go full-time school and full-time work? Do I go full-time work and part-time school? And I made the decision to just give up everything that I had, personal life-wise, yeah, and just do it all at the same time. Do full-time school, full-time work, and it paid off. It paid off so much. I didn't know that the impact that I was going to have was that my grades went up. Right. So what that told me is that I was slacking, hanging out, partying it up a little bit too much. So then when it came time to concentrate, I truly did. And at the same time, while that was happening, my wife was trying to finish her undergrad so that she can get her master's to eventually go to med school, right? So we were both very into, let's get this done the right way. So on June of 2003, I joined ADP.
Oh, wow. Would you say you've impressed your wife?
She married me on that, so yes.
I would hope so. I really, really love this, especially because I just visited ADP, and can I say we're talking about, beautiful campuses. Can I say I'm extremely jealous of how beautiful. I was joking with you about this off camera about how in the summer I would take my picnic table outside. I would just do work outside, no cubicle, just put me outside. That's how beautiful the campus is.
You have no idea how many people do that.
No way.
Yeah. They one-on-ones is pick up your laptop or let's just go take a walk, lunchtime. There's a bunch of meetings. Yeah, absolutely. So it's an option.
I love that. I love that. Do you do that?
Yes.
Not convincing.
So I do it, but then I think about the next meeting I have to rush back to. So when I can, absolutely, yes. Working lunches is what we like to call it. It's like, yes, for sure. Let's go outside. Let's have a good time.
Okay, let's talk about the ADP slash MSU visit.
Yes.
I had the opportunity to, visit your headquarters in Roseland,
Yes.
New Jersey, and with my cohort of MBA students, and it was amazing. It was beautiful. The campus itself was beautiful. The people are nice. It was truly, truly an experience that I would do again. I really loved it. Talk to me about the process before we come in. I've heard that you were part of the planning committee. Oh my gosh, you were part of the planning committee.
I'm not going to talk about myself yet on that one because I do have to give you kudos. Congratulations, your team won. I'm sure that there was a lot of work that was put into getting ready for that. Yeah, you're probably learning everything about corporate America and what it means to get in front of SLT, senior leadership team, and every possible scenario that could go wrong, I'm sure was playing through your mind. So congratulations and amazing job on getting it done. So one of the things that I'm going to call a regret is that after I graduated from Montclair, I disconnected myself from Montclair. And the reason behind it is because priorities change, right? I was done with school. Let's get into this work mode. Let's grow our careers. Let's do this. And there's one thing that I forgot to do, and I forgot to pay it back. And I always think about that. Though I've had my opportunities to do so many different things, to volunteer my time, the one thing that was always missing is giving back to Montclair because Montclair gave me a lot. So 2-3 years ago, I got an email about a Montclair event, and they were looking for Montclair alumni that are willing to participate. I'm like, I can finally check that off the box, right? So 3 years ago, I did the first one, and it was just great to see how the program has evolved to where you saw it earlier this year. And I can tell you that the planning, kudos to the planning team, right? I'm just a tiny little nugget of everything that goes into it, from the badges to the water bottles to the food to what are we going to put in front of the students to get them as prepared as they possibly can. It was meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting of let's get it done the right way. And I have pride in two things. Number one, being able to give back to Montclair. And then number two, today where I'm at with my career as a leader and leader of teams, making sure that I know what future talent looks like and who's going to be potentially coming to ADP. So I have that recruiting personality in mind that when I get to meet people from Montclair or from wherever it is, right, it's great to see the potential that we have of people that are graduating.
I really love this, and I can vouch. And I know a lot of the students in my cohort, when we were debriefing after, they could feel how intentional it was from your side with everything that you guys planned. Even the networking session, right? It was very engaging. It was not, we weren't left to, meet people to ourselves. We were actually very intimidated. I don't know if I told you this before, but 2 days before the actual visit, they sent us an email of who's going to be there. In our mind, we thought it was going to be 10 people, or 10, 20, 30 max, 100 plus on the list. And we were like, hold on, I have to present to all these people. So we were nervous.
Of course.
But when we got there, down to the security, the people checking us in, to, the people actually organizing the event and shaking our hands, everything was so intentional. So it did not feel as if I'm entering a very corporate suit-up setting. It was very relaxing, very welcoming, and I really, really appreciate that. And especially going to, present in a couple minutes, we didn't want to feel stressed, and we didn't, because everybody was so welcoming. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're feeling. We call that the ADP culture.
Okay.
It's the logic of being able to create this environment where it's welcoming not only to the clients that we support, or the associates that work for ADP, but any guest that comes to our doors, right? So what you felt is it's our responsibility. It's my responsibility as a people leader to create that environment, right? So I always like to say that ADP gives me the floor to create that culture. It's up to me to nurture and develop that culture with myself as well as with my team. So I'm glad you felt the love.
I was benefiting from it. So I definitely like it. And I can say one thing that I noted when I was improving with my own cohort and the people is how you can tell what kind of lens that ADP uses when recruiting, because everybody kind of talks similarly with the same values. They all have the same values, right? One of the biggest topic that we've had, for context, I know you know this, but for our people listening, we had to do a semester-long project where we were reviewing ADP, and we were acting as consultants. And the goal of the project was to figure out how do we turn ADP from a business to business company, but also to a business to client company, business to customer company. And it was very, very interesting. And when we were in cohort and small groups talking to, the ADP associates, everybody had the same love for humanity. I don't know if that sounds weird to say, but when we were talking about AI and how a lot of the projects, a lot of the solutions that we were bringing in, people were saying from group to group, we can use AI to do this, we can use AI to do that. And the feedback that we got from every single ADP member is that, okay, AI is good. We can use AI. We're a technology company, we can use AI. But at the cost of what? At the cost of who? Which was very, very interesting and did not feel like corporate fluff, like where people are just saying, oh, we love people, da da. It was just genuine concern for like preserving humanity and making sure that the people who are at the receiving end and the people who are giving are actually considered in the process, which was very, very interesting. I noted that, and even I remember journaling about this, which is, it's too many information, but I remember journaling about this because I was so intrigued, and I was not expecting it, especially from a corporate company.
And just a real quick plug, right? ADP, who's ADP? Not the security company is what I'll say, right? So ADP, automatic data processing. And our saying is that we're always developing for people. What does that mean, right? If I were to stereotype, what do we do? So we're a human capital management organization that helps companies concentrate on what is important to them while we take care of the payroll aspect of it, the HR, the time and attendance. So we provide solutions to our clients to be able to address all of those HR, all of those payroll time needs, so that you can concentrate on whatever the organization's main goals and responsibilities are.
Kudos to you and the alumni from Montclair State University that also work at ADP for even, partnering with the Feliciano School of Business to organize this, which kind of brings me to ask you this next question is, why do you think it's important for alumni to stay connected with their with the school, with Montclair State University, and connecting us to their companies?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think There's a number of different angles that we all benefit from. The first one, ADP, we want to make sure that we hire the right people, right? Very specifically, locally here, we're 20 minutes away, right, from Montclair over to Persephone. And knowing the connections where the talent is coming from is huge. And uh, we have a good amount of alumni that come from that work at ADP today, right? Whether it's an undergrad only, whether it's a master's, and if we continue to have that strong relationship, we will continue to provide any type of influence that we as ADP can to Montclair, whether it's through student life, whether it's through a curriculum, maybe an additional class, whatever the case might be, right? Because in the end, we, corporate America, we ADP, we benefit from that. So I think that the more that we give into the Montclair State University, the more that it could give us back.
What would be your, I know a lot of alumni will be listening to this episode specifically. What would be your advice to them? How do they stay connected, and why should they? How do you want to, what's that one tidbit that you want to leave them with?
Find a way to check off the box that most likely you have to not regret the missed opportunity of giving back. Right. And I regretted it. I graduated in 2006 and it took me until 2023 to give back. Right. And if your work, or if your job today doesn't have Montclair on the line, be that one person to say, hey, here's Montclair. Right. Reach out. They are a great partner, and we have a lot of different maybe alumni that are currently there that they would love to give back. So I think maybe it's just that, right? Be intentional about connecting back to Montclair.
I really love this. And to wrap up, I kind of want to, one thing that I want to ask you and I want to share as well is that I feel that Montclair State University has given me a lot. And this is something that you mentioned when you were saying that, you regretted not giving back. It has given me a lot. And even this company visit and even me meeting you was, it's all because of the school's connection and your organization reaching out to us and, that relationship. Do you feel like the school has given you a lot? And if so, what do you think is the main thing that, you credit to Montclair State University?
I can write a book about what the school has given me, right? I think if I were to wrap it up, let's just call it in three. Number one, obviously the education that came with it, right? I could tell you that today, because of my work ethics, because of the environment that Montclair has created for me, things come very easy for me, whether it's in accounting, whether it's in marketing, whether it's in international business. Just the logic of understanding business in general, right? It was a great foundation. Have I learned a lot through ADP? Absolutely, right? So the combination of a great starting point at Montclair and what I get at ADP is it's been beautiful. The second part is the personal aspect of it, right? My wife is going to be listening to this, so I have to tell you this way. The best thing that came out of Montclair State University was my wife.
You're sure. Sorry about that. That should have been number one.
I know. I did that one, fix it. But the relationships, right, in general, whether we're talking about my wife or our best friends, whatever the case might be, it's been such a great pleasure to say that I'm part of Montclair. And as I was driving up here, I called my mom. I'm like, hey, Mom, you know what I'm doing today, right? And she's like, every time I go to Montclair or I just drive around that area or I hear MSU, she's got such a sense of pride. And she remembers that hug that she gave me when I graduated when she said, you did it, right? And it was like, thank God we did it, right? So I think that all of those core memories is what Montclair has given me.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to you today, Oscar. And I know our audience is going to be super, they're going to relate to your story and to what we've shared today. It was amazing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your story as well.
Of course.
Also, give me another high ball.
MONTCLAIRconnect, the podcast, highlights alumni from Montclair State University, the latest programs and initiatives at the school, and how to stay connected. It is a collaboration between the Alumni Engagement Team and the College of Communication and Media at Montclair State University. To get involved as an alumni or to learn more about what's happening at Montclair, visit montclair.edu/alumni. Thank you so much for listening.